Right, as you may well be aware, for quite some time now, my favourite pellets that I've been using have been these QYS streamlined heavies. These are in the 177 calibre, and I've been struggling to beat these really. Pretty much suit just about every airgun I've got. A particular favourite was the Steyr, which shoots extremely well in these, and in fact all my air rifles are shooting extremely well with these. But recently, when I got my my Priest 2 and my Uragan Compact, the guy that I bought the Priest off suggested that I try the exact heavy Diablos through it, because he reckoned it would shoot those really well, because the JSB pellets are very compatible with the CZ barrels that are fitted to both those rifles. So I bought a couple of tins of these exact heavy Diablos in 177, and these weigh 10.34 grains, whereas the streamlines are 9.56 grains. So these are nearly a grain heavier than the streamlines, and these things work extraordinarily well in the Uragan and the Priest with its 177 barrel on it. Really well. And amazingly, they also shoot quite well, in fact really well, in the Steyr, my Hunting 5. Now, there are different, in the Steyr Hunting 5, it probably still shoots a tiny bit better with the QISs, but it's really, I haven't really been able to tell for definite, because they both shoot extraordinarily well. But certainly these are way better in the Uragan and the Priest. And these are a bit of an odd pellet, because they differ in shape quite a lot to the standard heavy pellet. Now, I've got here, these are normal exact Diablos, and everyone knows what these pellets look like. Just like a normal Diablo pellet. Exactly the same as just about every other Diablo pellet that you can buy. And the heavy version, just to show you, I'll lay these out, and I'll just move the camera in. Right, so as you can see, this is a Barracuda match. Barracuda match heavy. That's the QIS, streamlined heavy. That's a normal exact. And here we've got the JSB exact heavy. And it's pretty obvious that the way they get the Barracuda and the QIS streamlined to have the extra weight is basically they bulk out if you look at the skirts on these, they bulk out the skirt, make the skirt thicker, and they also make the skirt a lot less deep. So all the weight is concentrated in the head and in the skirt. And it's the same on that one. See, much thicker skirt and not as deep. And then when you look at a normal exact, you'll see it's got quite a flimsy skirt, and it's very deep before you hit the head, the main lead part of it. So the QIS streamlines, Barracuda match and the Bisley Magnums, they all follow the same sort of idea really. They've got a thicker skirt and not as deep, and a slightly bigger, heavier domed head on them. The JSB one though goes down a completely different track altogether. It's still got a really thick skirt, but it's got a very shallow depth to it. And it also has, instead of pinching in like a normal airgun pellet, which is your sort of traditional Diablo shape. It comes to a sort of cylinder, a sort of cylindrical shape between the head and the skirt. Oops, it's going off there. And it's an unusual design. You don't see many pellets with this design. And all I can say is, whatever it is they've done to these, shot through the CZ barrels certainly, they're extraordinarily pinpoint laser accurate. And they also hit with a hell of a wallop. You know, it's 10.6 grains, so it's a heavy pellet for a 177 pellet. And it really does transfer a fair amount of power over to whatever you're shooting. And it's also extremely accurate. It seems to hold its stability out to a long, long way. You know, 50 yards plus, easily. This thing at 12 foot-pounds is still a supremely accurate pellet. So I have to say that in the Uragan and the Priest, that's definitely become my new #1 favourite pellet. Not that there's anything wrong with the QYSs, there obviously isn't. They're a superb pellet, and they shoot really well through my Walther, and they shoot really well through my Hunting 5. They do shoot okay through the Uragan and the Priest, but they're not as good in those two rifles as this these JSB heavy Diablo ones. So I'd say if you've never tried these, especially if you've got a rifle that's got a CZ barrel, it might well be worth giving them a whiz, because they seem to be really compatible with them, with anything that's got a CZ barrel on it. I don't know why. I mean, obviously they're Czech made barrels, the CZ, and these are Czech made pellets, so maybe there's some sort of collaboration on the sizing or whatever. But these shoot extraordinarily well through CZ barrels. Whereas the Barracuda FTs and the QYSs, there's not a lot between them really. They're all accurate, don't get me wrong, they're all very accurate, but it's just these things are really accurate. So if you've got a 177 CZ barreled rifle, whether it's an Uragan compact, an Uragan normal size one, a Priest 1 or a Priest 2, I recommend that you give these a go. They're well worth giving a try, because you might be, despite looking a bit unusual and nothing like a normal sort of Diablo pellet, you might be surprised how well these shoot. Well worth it. The other thing I'm waiting for, or waiting on, is the, I've just ordered a tin now of the .25 caliber Hades pellets, because I'm shooting the JSB Kings through my Priest, and again that .25 caliber is a CZ product, and obviously the JSB Kings are another CZ pellet, and they're superb through that. I tried the BSA pylon pellets and they were terrible. It was like a shotgun. I actually thought I'd put the barrel on wrong, they were so bad. And it was only when I switched to using the exacts, the JSBs, that the thing started shooting one-all groups, and the difference was unbelievable. I have never seen a gun shoot pellets so differently. The pylons were atrocious. The groupings were like 2, maybe 3 inches, whereas with the heavies, the 2.5 heavies from JSB, they were shooting under a 5p piece at 50 yards. It's just crazy how different they were. The difference in these is nowhere near as pronounced. With these, you're talking a fraction of, you know, maybe a millimetre difference between the Barracuda FTs, the QYS Streamline Heavies, and the JSB heavy Diablos. but these are definitely edgy. You know, you can see that these do edge the accuracy stakes. And obviously being a fairly heavy pellet, they also deliver a fairly good whack to whatever you're shooting. So there you go. So if you've got a 177 rifle with a CZ barrel, or even without the CZ barrel, give these a try. They're well worth giving a try. You might surprise yourself with how good they are. Thanks for watching.